If you've been around on the music production side of YouTube for long enough, then chances are you've seen an ad from Kyle Beats promoting his Drip Effects plugin. But is this drip the real deal? Or is it simply fool's gold for those who might find it? Hi, I'm Logan Duvall, one of the co-founders of Roseflower Records, and I bought the Drip plugin so you don't have to. While there are a multitude of multi-effects plugins on the market, the Drip plugin has advertised itself on convenience, telling customers that all it takes to get a great sound is 2 clicks. The first thing that I want to mention is that the price of the Drip plugin sits at a whopping $125. I was able to purchase it while it was on sale for only $40. However, I do need to mention that the plugin is suspiciously almost always on sale for this price, a common practice of VST vendors to entice you to buy their product. The next thing I feel I need to mention is that aside from the whole 2 clicks idea, there's really not a whole lot of explanation on what it actually does or how to use it. I could genuinely see a beginner getting very confused by the lack of guidance. Now let's talk about what it truly does. The Drip plugin is made up of a reverb, a delay, a filter, an EQ, and a chorus. Each of these has specific controls assigned to them, as well as a preset selector that alters the core sound and tone of each. But enough chatting, let's get into the sauce. Now, for each of my tests today, I'm going to be using a variety of samples I've downloaded from Splice. This first sample is a synth chord progression with some movement to make it interesting. This sample is also going to be used for our sample beat battle on our upcoming live stream this Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. PST. An MP3 of the sample will be uploaded to our Discord directly. Now, for each of these tests, I've put each sample to the Drip plugin twice. Once using the described 2-click method they've built their ad campaign on, and a second time with more refinements from me. Let's go ahead and get our hands on this drip, shall we? So right off the bat, while working with the plugin, the lack of control for the sound of each preset was really annoying for me. There were multiple times I felt I got really close to the sound I was looking for, only to find that I couldn't change it anymore to get it there. While I did eventually find what I thought was a good sound, it took some heavy alteration of the presets. Not exactly the 2-click done deal that I was promised. While it's not the most fantastic start, we still got time for it to shine, so let's move on. Next, I will take a drum kit groove and put it deep into the drip. For anyone interested, the preset I chose for this sample was the 808 preset. It just seemed right. I think what's most notable in this test is what I was talking about earlier with the lack of gain control. Some of the presets had great kick or snare tones, and others had wonderful high-end sounds, but it had to sacrifice the tone and quality of other sounds to get there. For example, on the second test, while I enjoyed the power it gave the transients, it distorted the quality of the whole kit, removing a lot of that wonderful quality. And while I thought the hi-hats and cymbals were great on the last test, the rest of the kit ended up kind of sounding far back in the space and cloudy sounding. This is also due to another complaint I have, the reverb and the delay. My main issue is that it puts the reverb and delay on the same track as the instrument itself, making that instrument as wide as the room you're emulating. I would say a better way to go about this style of effect is to route the audio to a separate bus with that reverb or delay. Finally, I have taken a vocal chop sample and processed it with a little bit of the drip. Let's listen.
Falling for you, I'm falling for you, falling for you, I'm falling for you, falling for you, I'm falling for you.
Out of all the tests today, this one definitely gave the best results in my opinion. While I still have issues with the reverb and delay as well as the lack of control, most of the presets gave a nice texture to the vocals and helped to give the sound a much more characteristic sound. If I did end up using the drip plugin again for something like this, I would probably use a bus or duplicate the audio in order to keep the dry vocals prominent in the mix while adding the effects. As really my biggest complaint with this test is that it almost entirely removes the clean vocal audio. Now, let's listen to all the audio combined before I give you my final conclusions. So, it's the moment of truth. After spending some time with the drip plugin, getting to know its strengths and weaknesses, I have my verdict. The drip plugin is really more like the dry plugin. While I think that there are some good ideas and some fun effects, in practice it just doesn't give you enough control or consistency to really be used in a practical manner. At a retail price of $125 or really $40, that's just unacceptable for what it actually offers. And to be completely honest, I still didn't feel great buying it at a price of $40. The true issue laying at the heart of the drip plugin, however, is that it's trying to do too much at once. There's honestly tons of incredible, might I mention, free or much cheaper plugins that separately do everything the drip plugin does, with more control, more consistency, for a much lower price. And if you are looking for a multi-effects plugin that is worth your time and money, my own recommendation in this category is the Excellent Audio RC20. It does everything the drip plugin does and more, with more controls, on and off switches for each effect, more explanation on how to actually use it, and it's actually cheaper than the drip plugin. So to sum it all up, if you were thinking about purchasing the drip plugin, I would advise you not to. Spend that money on more reliable plugins or on a quality microphone, preamp, or interface. Hell, for $125, you could probably go out and buy some real drip. Thank you all for watching. If you have any suggestions for plugins I should buy so you don't have to, leave it down in the comments below. Or you can join our Discord to let us know directly, as well as interact with other talented independent artists and producers. We also live stream on YouTube every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. PST. As always, I'm Logan Duvall, and I hope you've enjoyed.